Great to see you here in this new video. Here we're going to look at the webinar content of lesson 10, and we will be talking about communications and procurement management. And this is the first part of our webinar videos. Now we look at communication management and we look at people and their personalities. Now when we look at personalities, it's very important to understand what type of person we are dealing with, how to communicate with them, how to really touch them, how to make them like you, how to make them understand what you want to say. And it's very important to understand the personality of the people. You also have to use terminology that the people understand. And we also talk about what we call rapport in emotional intelligence. Now, as a project manager, you have to be a master in different communication techniques. You have to understand how to transmit messages to your peers, team members, customer, and stakeholders. It's a very complex way how people communicate, and you have to identify these in a good way. Now, we can use certain elements like the Briggs-Myers temperament. We have extroversion and introversion. We see that the person with extroversion gets the energy from outside, tends to be socially oriented, while the introvert obtains energy from the inside and tends to be withdrawn. The sensate and the intuitive, experimental based, tends towards practicality, while the intuitive looks towards the future, favors hunches and possibilities. Then we have the thinking feeling temperaments, emphasis on logic and stresses objectivity. On the other hand, feeling values intimacy and stresses relationship. Judging and perceiving emphasizes finality, tends to be decisive. Perceiving looks for options. Decisions need complete information. Understanding the Briggs-Myers complement of the people you are communicating with will help you provide better communication. The same is for the BMTI, the four major temperaments. We look at the SP, PM style, communication style, stress on actions with minimum analysis, spontaneous communications open to different perspectives and adaptability, SJ, helping, caretaking and consultative, and formally structured, black and white view and typically precise. NT, power-oriented, PM style, 6, mastery and assertive, emphasizes need for control or predictability, 6 being objective, even impersonal, and F, self-actualization, importance of goals, informal communications, prefers qualitative over quantitative. So you have different temperaments in the BMTI. There are more temperaments, more detailed temperaments that you can identify, and it will give you ways how to deal with the people. There is also the Birkman model. We look at the behavior style. We have 4 behavior styles. We have the expeditor, the communicator, the administrator, and the planners. We look at the expeditor, who is morely task-oriented and assertive, communicates to people, not with people. Communicator, more people-oriented and assertive, communicates with people. The administrator is task-oriented and low-key, communicate formally and only when a must. And the planners, they are people-oriented and low-key. They communicate on personal level and spontaneously. Now we also have the color codes by Taylor Hartman. Now we have the red code, the blue code, the white code, and the yellow code. So you see the red code is more looking for power and wants to control. Blue is more looking into intimacy and reflective. White, 6, peace, avoids confrontation. Yellow, 6, excitement, 6, attention, action and praise. So you can also use this to characterize the people. We have also the multiple intelligence that exist, linguistic intelligence, spatial intelligence, musical intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, and intrapersonal intelligence. Also very interesting ways how to identify what are the different intelligence preferences of the people you are communicating with. Then we have the Enneagram or the Sufi teaching. We look at the perfectionist, we look at the giver, we look at the performer, we look at the tragic romantic, we look at the observer, we look at the devil's advocate, we have the epicure, we have the boss, and we have the mediator. Also very interesting elements to give you more information about the people. We also have a very interesting technique which is called the Herman brain dominance. We have the different preferences. The analyzer, typically they call it in A quadrant, logical and analytical. We have the organizer in the B quadrant, prefers structure and organization. Personalizer in the C quadrant likes to interact with people. The visualizer, D quadrant, looks at the big pictures and different ideas. We have also the organizational engineering. We have the reactive simulator, RS, people who act immediately and they value independence. We have the logical processor, LP, logical and methodical, 6 details and precision. Hypothetical analyzer, HA, options before actions, analytical and definitive. We also have the relational innovator, RI, explores all options, is theoretical and innovative. Now there are other models that exist. Different models may exist. We didn't talk about the DISC method, and it depends what you are used to, what you can deal, what you can use talking with the people. Like I said, communication is very important, and those different models provide you possibilities to have different ways to evaluate people and to classify them. All depends a little bit on the way your company is dealing with it. I did some courses with companies also. You can have a personality course together with your team members, but also with some stakeholders, important stakeholders, the customer, and to understand how you can communicate better between the other people. And it's very important to understand how communication works. So that's the first part of this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. So thank you and bye-bye.